So you have, a white lady that's going to speak about some experiences that she had with her own people about how we live rent free in the minds of the white supremacists and how they like to talk about us when we nowhere around, not even in the vicinity, nothing. Let's go ahead and roll that.
So I live in the South, and over the last month, I've been keeping record of the racist things that have been said in front of me. So the first one was a guy that I'd hired to detail my car, come to my house and detail my car. He'd come a few times, and on the last time, he finished and came in to tell me that he wanted me to come look at it to make sure nothing was fucked up. So I said, surely nothing's fucked up. And he said, well, I don't want it to be fucked up like an N-words checkbook. So I looked at him in a state of horror, and he said, what? Oh, like a black guy's checkbook. And I said, just stop. Not interested in looking at anything with you now. And he said, then he started to go on some kind of rant about how he can say that because his great-grandfather was part Indian, his words. Asked him to leave, and of course never had him back. The second thing was I was at a lighting store looking at a fixture for my house, and I was talking to the lady who owned it with her husband, and both of them were out there, and I was asking questions about a chandelier, and her husband chimed in and said, oh, are you looking for chandelier? And she started to laugh, and I looked confused, and she said, oh honey, we've got a store in the hood, and those people, they come in and they call them chandeliers. And then they began to laugh, and then I walked out. The next was a guy that I was thinking about going on a date with called me one evening, and I answered the phone. I said, hey, what are you doing? He said, ironing my shirt for work tomorrow. And I said, ooh, putting in extra starch, just saying something silly. And he goes, hell no, I ain't no N-word. So then I hung up again in horror. And the last, I was thinking about buying a lot to build a house, and I ran into a guy that lived around the corner, and I was telling him about it. And he said, well, whatever you do, if you decide to ever sell it, just don't sell it to no Indians. All within the last month. And these are the same people, I can assure you, that will say and declare and claim that racism, it doesn't exist.
Of course, they are very, very upset with her because any white person that exposed their white supremacy, they look at them as off code, and she's a problem. I'm pretty sure they're calling her all kind of coal burners and calling her, mud sharks and all, the names they call her. Just assume that she's, fooling with black men because she calling they behind out. No, just because a person can date within their own group and still call out the racism within white society because we know it's there. Now, that chandelier thing, that's something new to me because, anytime I hear those words, I just kind of jot them down in my mind, in my little database. When I study white supremacy, the words they use about us, the tattoos they have, the little nuances, all that, black people, you need to really know that and understand that and say, when you see a person like this, say, okay, I appreciate you exposing all that. But these people are sick. They're sick and they're obsessive. Even a woman talking you about ironing, a shirt, some starch, black folks had nothing to do with it. So you mean to tell me, I guess you jealous of black people? Is that we actually know how to iron a shirt better than you or something? There's a lot about you just as a person, right? That wasn't even discussing black folk. But it's like, it's just weird to me. It's weird because when I'm having day-to-day conversations about a lot of things, I'm not trying to bring them folks up, not even thinking about them and what they got going on. They're not in my house, so it is what it is. But we have talked about this many, many times. Is that how they are highly obsessive with black folk. They can't live with us. Can't live without us, period. Because when we go do something on our own, here they come following behind us. You remember even during segregation, you have a black town, you say you couldn't be around you. black folks in their area, here you come messing with them. It's not like they went to your area messing with you or anything. We even looked at the Black Wall Street thing. They were way out there, even in Indian territory, and you still went out there and messed with them and destroyed their stuff. Same thing with Rosewood, you know, the town that they wiped out, and they put the Lake Lanier, which is cursed. Lake Lanier is cursed because every time you look up, people dying in Lake Lanier. But the ancestors is taking care of business on Lake Lanier, and anybody got any kind of sense, they will not fool with Lake Lanier at all. The ancestors is going to continue to wreak havoc in Lake Lanier until justice is being served for the people. If they was do the right thing and drain that freaking Lake Lanier and get the bodies out of there and actually, you know, do the right thing by black folks and pay reparations, because, you know, I'm a firm believer the ancestors and God, anybody else, curse them to hell. That's how I feel about it. Curse them. They deserve it. The ones who feel that way. I'm not talking about a lady like this who doesn't feel like that at all. But once again, as I stated in another video, it's going to take people like this lady talking to people in her community to end the anti-black racism. It's going to take that, because it will continue to keep going if y'all don't talk about it. And the same thing I've said in the previous video, hiding it, not discussing it. Listen, the thing about the white supremacists, you can't hide it because you can't help yourself. Unfortunately, we're talking about the white supremacists. You can't help yourself. And we're going to continue to expose you every chance we get, because it is predicated on our safety in America to expose you. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this lady here. And yeah, them living, you know, we living rent free in their head is just amazing.